carnivore diet has been life-altering, hope-giving, and overall totally transformative for me. You do not have to live the way the system is telling you to live metabolically. You can break free of your terrible metabolic health by just changing the way you eat. But I just wanted to check in and sort of share my excitement, my joy, my hope in this celebration of a reclaimed life. Hi, I'm Dr. Rick Gotting, and this is my 6-month carniversary, my 6-month lab check-in after being on the carnivore diet. I'm very excited to go through everything. I'm down 45 pounds. Here's the old me. Here's the new me. I wouldn't say new me, I'd say current me, because the new me is still evolving, and I'm gonna be, my goal is another probably 25 pounds down. But I'm working out really hard, and I'm trying not to lose muscle. I'm trying to gain muscle at the same time as losing fat. And anybody who's ever tried to do that knows it's pretty rough. But I'm gonna do a lab check-in today. I'm gonna go over all the labs, especially the labs that everybody gets their ears perked up about, the LDL and the total cholesterol and triglycerides, that bunch. And I'm gonna talk about my journey a bit. And you know, if you've looked at any of my other videos, you've seen I basically had a few vacation videos where I kind of showed how I ate carnivore on vacation in Florida, in New York, and in Spain. New York was just a weekend, but I just thought it was interesting to go into the land of bagels and hot dogs and pizza and come out carnivore the other side. And then I went to Spain, and I spent 10 days in Spain and ate cheese and not even a spoonful of rice stuck to my shrimp. And I did have 1/2 of a tiny meat pie on the plane on the way home and a dumpling. Don't ask me why, I just did. But those are my only cheats. I mean, literally in 6 months, those are my cheats. I have been eating only meat and eggs. I have been using heavy cream in my coffee. I drink 99% water. Once in a while, I'll have a Celsius. And of course, like I said, I drink coffee with heavy cream. And I have been almost as, 99.9% strict. It's been a complete transformation of my health, my life, my possibilities for the future. It's brought me hope. It's made me understand that I have misunderstood a lot about the medical system, nutritional advice given by physicians, to physicians, by the government. I have relearned a broad spectrum of physiology and biochemistry that I hadn't looked at in a while because I don't necessarily need it in my orthopedic surgery practice. I've incorporated metabolic health into my orthopedic surgery practice. I now have my preoperative patients on essential amino acids. I tell all of my elderly patients that they should make sure they get enough protein. I encourage my obese patients to look into the carnivore or ketogenic diets. I give my perioperative patients not just essential amino acids, but probiotics. I encourage people to be on probiotics. It's just changed everything for me, for the better. I'm more energetic, I'm happier, I'm sleeping better. So let's go to where I was when I started. So I had sleep apnea that I didn't know about in 2022. Late 2022, I found out I had sleep apnea and I got my CPAP machine. And I was doing okay for that year of 2023, feeling a little better, and I was going back and forth, trying to stay low carb. But during the week it was easy, and on the weekends it was harder. And so I started looking at different options, and I had heard about the carnivore diet from Joe Rogan, and I had looked at some of Dr. Berry and Dr. Westman and some of these other things. I started researching it and said, okay, I'm going to start the carnivore diet. So January 1st, actually January 3rd of 2024, I started the carnivore diet. And I immediately lost about 20 pounds in the first, let's say, 2 to 3 weeks. And then it was kind of a slog, and down and down and down and up a little, but not much, and then down and up and flat. And here I am 6 months later, 45 pounds down. Now, I count the 45 from my lowest. It was probably 43 today, but 45 is the lowest I've been, meaning 45 pounds down. I started at 280 pounds, so 235 pounds is what I weigh now. I haven't weighed that since before I was married in 2008. I feel like I'm 35, and I'm 36. Just kidding, I'm 54. So I feel like I'm 35. I have so much energy, and like I said, it's the hope and the will to get better, the hope for the future and the will to get better. That is what the carnivore diet has really brought to me. And it has transformed not just how I practice, but how I intend to practice. I'm looking into the possibility of getting certified in functional medicine so that in 10 years or so, when I stop operating, I can seamlessly transition into a practice of metabolic health and help people with their weight and help people get more metabolically healthy, all the while doing it myself and living a more vibrant, more athletic, more exciting, fun life. So some of you have been with me since the very beginning, and I really appreciate that. And honestly, I'm very, very pleased to have 1,400 subscribers at 6 months. I mean, I'm just a guy who is an orthopedic surgeon and happened to start the carnivore diet and decided that I wanted to be part of the whole situation. You know, I intend to start going to some conferences. I've been doing some continuing medical education on metabolic health. I've incorporated it into my practice. But I also want to use this channel for a creative outlet. A lot of my videos are creative, and I try to make it where it's entertaining. And even if you don't like those kind of videos, you don't have to watch them. I will also make educational videos going over scientific papers and things like that. I'm still just getting started. I'm still a newbie on YouTube. But I find YouTube to be a really amazing avenue to interact with people. I've been interviewed on some really great shows. I've had a really good guest on my show. I intend to have more. And so it's sort of a fledgling operation I have here. But I am just, like I said, filled with hope and excitement and renewed vigor for the future that just wouldn't have been possible without the carnivore diet. So without too much further ado, let's go over the stats. The weight, like I said, has come down from 280 to 235. My blood pressure, now I was on 2 medications. I am still on those same 2 medications, but my systolic pressure has come down from the 180s to 190s down to the 110s and 120s. My diastolic has come down from 110 to mid 70s to 80. And so I have normalized my blood pressure. And yes, I'm still on 2 medications, but I am hoping that as I continue on this process that those medications will go away. I mean, I've only been on the medications for about a year. I started the medications, and that was one of the signals for me that I needed to start something radical, because I found out I had metabolic syndrome. I made a video about that. The factors of metabolic syndrome that I had was a waist circumference, the fasting blood glucose, and the blood pressure. Now the blood pressure and the blood pressure is normal. Now I understand it's medicated, but I'm counting it. But it doesn't matter because I wouldn't have had 3 categories anyway because my waist has come down. Now, my labs haven't done everything I wanted them to, but man, I've made some real major progress in some areas, and in some areas it's gone in a different direction, and I'm going to talk about that. So let's get started. First of all, my sodium, potassium, chloride, carbon dioxide, my anion gap, my calcium, all normal still. They were normal before, they're normal still. Get those out of the way. The next is my BUN and creatinine. My creatinine is still normal. These are your kidney functions. My BUN was a little bit high, but I think that's because I was fasting. I didn't actually drink a bunch of water that morning, so I was a little bit dehydrated. My BUN was 19, high is 18. I'm not worried about it. That's just not even worth talking about. So those are not really, like I said, all that worth talking about. However, it does signal that my kidneys have not been damaged. Not that I would have expected them to be, but just for those people, oh, doesn't it damage your kidneys? Well, not yet anyway. Here's the ones that matter. Okay, my fasting blood glucose. This is the biggest L on my chart, and it's really not that big of a deal. I went from 107 to 112. Now, I did not check my hemoglobin A1C because my doctor forgot to order it, and I thought, well, okay, it doesn't really matter. My hemoglobin A1C was normal to begin with. It was 5.2, so I wasn't even high. My prediabetes was diagnosed or diagnosable by having consistent elevated fasting blood glucoses over 100. I'm still there. Not that worried about it for a lot of reasons. Number one, it's only been 6 months. You know, this body's been poorly taken care of metabolically for my entire life. And no, I didn't turn it all around in 6 months. But 112 is within spitting distance of 107, and it probably could have been 100 the day before or the day after. So I'm not that worried about it. We'll see how it goes. And so the next is my C-reactive protein. And that was normal and is still normal. It went from low normal to mid normal. I don't think that makes any big difference. C-reactive protein is a marker of overall inflammation. So it was so low that, I mean, this is something that you could have had a workout and it changed. But I'm well within the normal limits. I never had a problem with it, and I still don't. So I did not increase any inflammation. So my body did not become inflammatory, or my kidneys did not shut down. Not that I would have expected them to, but some of the doomsayers on the carnivore diet would tell you that these things. Even though it's 6 months, we're really not going to see tremendous big changes in those. It takes a lot to hurt your kidneys. Here's the ones that start to make a big difference, at least as far as attention paid. My total cholesterol went from 264 to 317. I'm not that worried about that because there's a lot of reasons that I'm not really sure. I'm still trying to figure out what that really means. I think a lot of people are trying to figure out what that really means. I know a lot of people are trying to figure out what that means. So it's a fairly decent jump. And I'm sure that would worry some people. I'm just keeping an eye on it. I'm not ignoring it. I made a video about that. I don't think you should ignore it. And I'm going to talk more about in what context that might be relevant to ignore it. But I don't fit into that context. My HDL cholesterol, pretty much the same. 44 in January, 49 on July 2nd. So essentially no difference there. My ApoB, which some people say is more important than LDL, I think that might be true, went from 156 to 171, so really, again, within the margin of error, but still relatively high. It certainly didn't go down. But my triglycerides went from 107 to 68, dropped nearly in half. And triglycerides are an indicator. It's not just part of your cholesterol lipid profile. It's also a big indicator of insulin resistance. So with these results, I'm really excited. The fact that my blood pressure is down, my triglycerides are cut in half, my body mass index is still marked as obese, but gone from class 3 to class 2 obesity, and I think, I don't know, body mass index is all that important. I don't think I'm obese right now. I do not think I'm obese. My waist has gone down almost 6 inches, about 5 inches. And so metabolically, in 6 months, I have become dramatically more healthy. My LDL is bumped up a little bit, but I don't really worry about that. I'm watching it. I'll be disappointed if it doesn't come down over time, but I don't know what I'll do about it. I'm certainly not running over to my doctor to get a statin. You see, because given that my blood pressure is down so much and my triglycerides are down so much and my stress level is down so much and I'm sleeping so well, these are all things that measure metabolic health, and I'm winning on every one of those fronts. So I really want to inspire people. My channel tag is inform, educate, inspire. I want to inspire people. I want you to see me out doing things and changing my life and moving forward and knowing that you can do it too. You do not have to live the way the system is telling you to live metabolically. You can break free of your terrible metabolic health by just changing the way you eat, and it's not hard. I'm not hungry. I'm almost never hungry. When I am hungry, I eat. I eat until I'm full. Not stuffed, but I eat until things stop tasting good and I feel relatively full. And you never really want to stuff yourself. I never want to eat a second ribeye. I never want to eat a second bowl of ground beef with shrimp and eggs. I don't want to do those things. But I just wanted to check in and sort of share my excitement, my joy, my hope in this celebration of a reclaimed life, a first step. I'm not saying I'm going to be carnivore for the rest of my life, but I don't know what's going to get me to change. I'm studying everything I can on it. Like I said, I'm changing the way I practice. I'm looking at 10 years from now being a 64-year-old, super fit, in shape, functional medicine doctor. And, you know, what a great retirement would be, not really to retire, but just to move into the point where my whole life is just centered around my health and other people's health. Not that it hasn't been so far, it has been, but I've just been fixing problems, small ones, without taking care of the whole patient. And I really want to take care of the whole patient. And I've always worked on that in my practice, trying to help people get encouraged to live healthier. But I wasn't even able to do it myself until I recognized that carbs are not only addictive, but essentially toxic to me. That doesn't mean they are to everybody. They are to me, and they clearly are to millions of people out there. So the carnivore diet has been life-altering, hope-giving, and overall totally transformative for me. So just wanted to make a brief video explaining that. Thank you for listening. Thank you if you've subscribed. Please check out some of my other videos. My Spain video is pretty cool if you want to check that out. And once again, I appreciate you being here with me. So thanks.